Hey guys, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. I'm continuing my series on how to sing like, and next up is Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. Before we get started, if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe to my channel. That'd be really cool. Don't forget to ring the bell so I can keep new cool videos coming your way. And I have a singing course. It's called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. You can find it right here at kentamplinvocalacademy.com, where we negotiate talking about how these singers got great and what they use in their techniques to make them great, and hopes to help make you great at singing. So I want to go ahead and get started with Chester. Now, I'm sorry we lost him so early. Really weird things surrounding his suicide and Chris Cornell's suicide. If those of you guys want to talk about it, you can tell what you think really happened, put that in the description, but some pretty creepy stuff surrounding that. But with that said, let's just get started in the singing part, and I'm going to go ahead and do Numb. Here we go.
Trying to be what you want me to be, feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, but under the pressure of walking in your shoes.
Now, I'm going to point out a couple things that are really important. Now, Chester was either on, or I should say hard or mellow, and I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but he was on or off, let's say, from being full throttle or pulled way back. Maybe that's the best way to say it. And so, I'm tired of being what you want me to be, feeling so faithless, lost under the surface, right? He was real small on his sounds, and he definitely wasn't like killing it, leaning into the sound. And then when he would lean into the sound, it was like, and then back to that sound again. Now we saw a lot of that with guys like M. Shadows, for example, from Avenged Sevenfold, where when they sing a clean verse, it's like this real pristine kind of small little boy sort of clean verse, and then they go into this full throttle distorted thing, and they go back and forth between the two, right? So this is kind of Chester's style, and this is sort of what he does. So now the interesting thing is that's exactly what I talk about in my course, is that if you're going to sing full throttle with a lot of distortion, you better be able to know how to come back and clean up the voice so that you can sing like this, or you will forever sentence yourself to a heavy tone. Now you see a lot of that with a lot of people that sing with distortion, and I'm not looking to call out a lot of people, but I'll use Maria Brink for example. When she screams and screams heavy, and then you listen to her singing something more mellow, you go, oh wow, she's kind of really hurt the mellow side of her voice in the name of, and sacrificed it to the altar of singing heavy, so to speak, right? And we don't want to do that. We want to actually be able to sing clean, sing a little distorted, add a little bit more different percentages and shades of distortion or grit or tone or overdrive, whatever you want to call it. And but in Chester's case, we don't really see that. We just really see either clean or dirty. So we're going to continue. Here we go.
Every step that I take is another mistake to you.
Call it young toe, just call it young toe.
Become so numb, I can feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. Becoming this, all I want to do is be more like me and be less like you. Can't you see that?
Now, before I go on to this next part, Chester actually made it into our top, I think it was 20, I think it was top 20 or top 10, I guess, I forget, of holding the longest notes. And I actually do a video on how to hold the longest notes, and I actually use him also as another example of me doing that in a video that I put out called How to Hold Long Singing Notes. Now, why this is interesting is because, I become so numb, like he's doing these really long, distorted lines, and his breath capacity is pretty gnarly, but I want to point out to you guys yet again, it's because he knows how to compress the air. Again, I cover all of this in my singing course, how to compress the air without pinching and squeezing in the throat, and to get the distortion, the desired effect of distortion, and sing these long phrases. And in fact, there's one live version of him doing this. Again, it's in the How to Sing, or the World's Longest singing notes, I think is what it's called, something like that. I'll put that in the description so you guys can see it, but he's way up towards the front and he holds these crazy long notes. Well, it's not only that he has a lot of lung capacity, it's that he knows how to compress and control the air. So that's very important as we're going through some of this stuff. I wanted to mention that along the way because it's not just light singing, heavy singing, his tone and whatnot, it's also his ability to control the breath.
Just smothering me, holding too tightly, afraid to lose control. Cause everything that you thought I would be is falling apart.
Now one more thing, everything that you thought I would be. He's real small and in the face he's not, everything that you thought I would be. It's everything that you thought I would be, right? And he's kind of uses a lot of air and stays right up here in the nasal cavity and in the front of the face. He uses a lot of mask in the sound. And again, it sounds kind of like little boy voice. I covered that in my course too, so.
Right in front of you.
Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow.
Every step that I take is another mistake to you.
Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow.
And every second I waste is more than I can take. I become so numb, I can feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware.
See how long I'm holding these phrases? The breath?
All to do is be more like me and be less like you. And I know I may end up failing too.
Now, if you notice, I did that really long phrase and I did the next phrase, but I decided to kind of make it a little heavier. I decided to not keep it so small in the sound because I like a more of a big, manly kind of tone for my own personal preference. So I didn't sing it exactly like Chester all the way through. I took on some Ken Tamplin and put some Ken Tamplin in it too. So you'll see that I do that often in my videos. So, but I also think it's really important, guys, that it's not just that I show you that, hold on. Sorry. It's not just that I show you that Ken Tamplin can do this stuff. It's that I show you that I can teach other people how to do it too. So a lot of people say, you know, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And if you notice, none of these vocal coaches online are doing this. None of them are singing. It's weird. And they're not singing in all these different styles. And they're not singing it with a voice that I would want to sound like. And they're not displaying students that do it either. That is one big red flag. If they can't do it themselves and they display no students doing it or few students doing it, how could they possibly teach you how to do it? So people that claim to be the #1 vocal coach on the internet, which is baloney, by the way, I have a lot more subscribers than those guys that are talking, or they're gonna teach you to do this in 30 days. It ain't gonna happen, folks. That's not the way this works. So next up is Kati Cher. I've been raising Kati for a while now, so Kati's come a long way. Yeah, she's cute and she's eye candy and stuff. That's cool, but Kati is a beast. And here we do Crawling, and check this out. Tell me what you think of this. And now before we go on, a lot of people say, oh, it's easy for her because she's a girl. It's in her range. It's easier for girls. Now, I covered this in the Iron Maiden video that I did just a little bit, where I sang up some pieces and then I got my student Gabriella to sing Trooper. And as I mentioned, that girls have a lot tougher time than guys to sound big and fat and distorted. Their voices don't distort the same way as guys do. So they have to actually pay special attention on how they do it. Now, Chester is a little different animal. And let me explain something. A lot of times he sings his whole tones. He'll be very monotone on a note. It'll be like a flat line if you were to look at, the same. Right, he's not using a lot of range and a lot of melody. He stays pretty flatline on his melodies, the way he's singing his whole tones and stuff. So it's a little easier to lean into a sound if you don't have to shift the throat to get into different words and vowels that require a lot of range. So it's easier to do that, to sing a whole tone straight, than it is to go up and down in different vocal registrations. So Kati and I have worked on this a lot, but she's able to belt into a lot of different registrations and get that tone that we've been looking for. Now, she didn't start out that way. and we had some pretty serious pitch issues to deal with, and some power and stamina issues. Now, Kati is an absolute beast and is well on her way into that Lizzie Hale, you know, killing it kind of a voice. But for girls, it's not that easy to distort, and especially not that easy when they get up into their head voice. So listen to how Kati continues to approach this tune.
There's something inside me that pulls beneath the surface, consuming, confusing. This lack of self-control I fear is never ending, controlling. I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in. I've felt this way before. So insecure. Crawling in my skin. These wounds, they will not heal. Fear is how I fall. Confusing what is real.
Now, I want to add one more thing to this, and that is, at Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, we have a different approach that instead of just trying to sound exactly like another singer, in this case Chester Bennington, if you go back and listen to her vowels, how big and robust and round they are, compared to Chester's. I'm going to say that. I know that's people are going to get pissed off at me. Oh, you're saying she's better than Chester? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is at KTVA, I teach big, round, robust vowels, so you can close down those vowels that sound like Chester and squeeze and sound more tubular on the sound if you want. Or she's sounding like Gabriela Gunchikova, one of my other students, many of my other students. We're going to showcase a lot of these students that I have, and the vowels are big and robust and powerful, and you can tell she is far from at the end of her range, while sometimes some of these other vocalists sound like they're always at the crest, always at the top, at the zenith or pinnacle of the range, just giving it everything they've got. You can tell in Kati's case, she's got a lot more range to give, and she's singing well within the tessitura or the sweet spot of her range while she's doing these demonstrations. So we worked a long time on this. It's called open throat technique. I cover all of this in my singing course, where you can get these sounds so you can maintain good vocal health and sing in a lot of different styles and have incredible stamina for days. So guys, I'm doing a lot of this by request. So if you guys have a request, put it in the description of who it is that you want me to do a takedown of how to sing like, and definitely check out my next video.